Good morning, Florida lacrosse fans. It's Friday, and that means the start of the regional finals. We'll have the girls today and the boys tomorrow. Great time of the year for all of us. This is Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News, welcoming you to morning coffee. Boy, when it's steaming hot, it's the best. If you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. We're certainly planning on continuing to have shows, if not every day, certainly throughout the off season. And you wouldn't want to miss it, that's for sure. Like the videos if you do so. Follow us on Twitter, Florida LX, Facebook, FLA, LAX, NEWS. Don't forget also to check out our partners in bringing you content, Varsity Sports Network. That's varsitysportsnetwork.org, 16-channel online station. Please sure to check out their YouTube and follow them on Twitter. Actually have multiple Twitter accounts. I'm pretty sure we'll probably be taping something soon about the upcoming Final Four. So before we get to the high school games tonight and on Saturday, let's just get what happened on the college side out of the way. We had the Sunshine State Conference semifinals, both the men and the women. Last night, number one Tampa knocking off Florida Tech on the men's side, 15-9. Florida Tech actually led that game 7-5 at the half before coming back with a very strong 10-2 second half to win that game. Colin White, 3 goals, 2 assists for Tampa. Zach Rezganye, 3 goals, 2 assists for Florida Tech. The other semifinal, Florida Southern in overtime over Rollins, 12-1. The game-winning goal being scored in the first overtime with 1 second left. Justin White, 4 goals for Rollins. Sean Nolan, 5 goals for Florida Southern. And they had a second period that Florida Southern was able to take the lead with, and then eventually, as we know, went down to the overtime win. So the Sunshine State final will be Tampa hosting Florida Southern, and that will be on Sunday. The Sunshine State women, their semifinals yesterday. Tampa, first seed with a 19-6 win over number 4 St. Leo. Madison Birch, 5 goals for Tampa. Sarah Henkel, 4 goals for Tampa. Fiona McLaughlin, 2 goals and an assist for St. Leo. In the other semifinal, Florida Southern with a 17-11 win over Rollins. 3 Mocks with 4 goals each in the win, and 3 Tars with 2 goals each in the loss. So the women's final will be Tampa hosting Florida Southern. That will also be on Sunday. So we have basically the Florida Southern team can share a bus or two to go on over and play Tampa. And, good luck to both teams. Automatic bids to the NCAA Division II tournament will be on the line. On the weekend, we got Florida men, the Flagler men, will be at Montevallo on Saturday. The Florida Gators women will be at East Carolina on Saturday. And Stetson is hosting Coastal Carolina on Saturday. I didn't see anything scheduled for the Jacksonville men or women over the weekend. Okay. Here we go. Girls won regional finals on today. And then one game, Heritage Del Rey and Pinecrest will be on Saturday. I don't know if it's a scheduling issue or whatever, but just don't go out to that game if you're thinking about it tonight. Okay. Worry about tomorrow. Now, I went ahead and instead of doing the individuals, I took a look at the team statistics that were on Max Preps. And I have to admit, there seems to be some discrepancies because it looks like not every game's statistics got into it, but this is about the best I could do. So girls 1A, Region 1, Episcopal School at 18-3 is going to be hosting St. Augustine at 16-4. Back on March 29th, they played, and Episcopal School came away with the easy 19-7 win. I've got, St. Augustine didn't really put any stats up, so I don't really have anything for them. On Episcopal School's side, 339 goals or 16 a game. 4.23 save percentage, giving up 5.5 goals a game. I didn't get the draw control number there. According to the FHSAA power rankings, the Episcopal School is ranked number 4. They have a 9.05 strength of schedule. St. Augustine is ranked 13th. And this is, by the way, in the class, okay, with a 5.24 strength of schedule. When you look at the common opponents, they have some. The ones that are the only one that's really telling is that against Lake Brantley, Episcopal School won 21-8, whereas St. Augustine won 16-5. I think you look at the game that they played earlier in the year, and that's kind of a blueprint. Will it be as big a blowout? We'll see, but I suspect probably not. But I still expect Episcopal School to win and move on. Girls 1A, Region 2, 15-2 Lake Highland against 13-4 Edgewood. They don't have any common opponents. The biggest thing to take away here is that Lake Highland is number 2 in 1A and a 13.88 strength of schedule. Edgewood is number 18 with a minus 2.58 strength of schedule. So although the goals a game and goals scored are relatively close, shot draw controls, Edgewood actually did better. Goals against are similar, save percentages are similar, but that huge strength of schedule difference is certainly going to play out in Lake Highland to win and move on. Okay, in Region 3, we have 17-2 Naples hosting 14-2 St. Stephen's. This should be a marvelous game. They did not play. I've got Naples with scoring almost 18 goals a game versus St. Stephen's 15. I don't have a draw control number for Naples. St. Stephen's was listed as winning 69% of them. They're similar in goals against average. I don't have a save percentage for Naples, but I've got 530 as the save percentage for St. Stephen's. Naples is number 11 in the state with 2.62 strength of schedule, and St. Stephen's is number 9 with 3.77. Naples gets the home game because they were a district winner, whereas St. Stephen's had to knock off number 1 out of Door Academy, a district member, in order to get to the final. You look at the comparative scores, and they're relatively similar as far as Naples with a little bit better winning margins. Canterbury, Berkeley Prep, and Academy of Holy Names were common opponents. And I just think this is going to be a very interesting game. You kind of wonder if St. Stephen's will have a little bit of an advantage on the strength of schedule, but I saw Naples, and I was very impressed with their speed and athleticism. So I'm going to call this a very close game coming down the line. I might go to overtime in this one, and there's really no point in picking where. There's nothing in here that says which way to look. And then in Region 4, we've got number 1 American Heritage Delray at 16-2 against number 3 Pinecrest 18-3. Both had very hard strength of schedules. Heritage Delray 14-02, Pinecrest 10.13. They both scored goals at a healthy clip. Don't have a draw control number for either. Similar goals against average. Heritage Delray has the better save percentage. And then, they did play back on March 8th, game I was actually at. Close game into the early in the second half, and then Heritage Delray pulled away for the 17-9 win. Similar games, with the exception of Lake Highland, American Heritage knocked off Lake Highland 13-6. Pinecrest lost to them 10-8. And outside of that, both obviously played a lot of good games, but not really an awful lot of comparison outside of that head-to-head matchup. So I expect Heritage Delray to win a good, solid game. Probably similar. I could see Pinecrest certainly holding it close for a good chunk of the game, and then Heritage Delray winning the game. Girls 2A regional finals. We got Bartram at 19-3 against Ponte Vedra at 15-5. Bartram is number 2 in 2A, 13.04 strength of schedule. Ponte Vedra is number 7 with a 9.75 strength of schedule. So both played some pretty solid schedules there. You look at the stats, Bartram 16 goals a game, Ponte Vedra 14. I don't have Bartram's draw control. Ponte Vedra's came in at 54%. Goals against are similar. Save percentages are pretty similar. When you look at some of the key games on the comparatives, you have 18-7, a win for Bartram over Lassiter of Georgia versus Ponte Vedra losing 11-5. Similar of Lambert, Bartram of an easy win, Lambert knocking off Ponte Vedra. Similar results against St. Augustine, and Bartram handled Bishop Moore easier. And Bartram, obviously, I saw come down here. The teams they played on March 18th, and Bartram with a 13-8 win over Ponte Vedra. And I suspect we'll see a pretty similar final this time. Vero Beach at 15-3 versus Haggerty 16-6. Those who've listened to earlier broadcasts here and on VSN know that I've had my eye on this game for a while. Vero is number one in the state in 2A, 14.71 strength of schedule. Haggerty is number 5, 10.70 strength of schedule. Haggerty had a much better second half as they got healthy. There's not a lot of stats for Vero in here, unfortunately. Haggerty, 12 goals a game, and I don't have draw controls for either. Similar goals against average. Haggerty's save percentage looks pretty low. I don't know if that's just, again, a function of what was entered. Vero, I don't have anything for it. Each of them beat Bishop Moore by a goal. Episcopal knocked off Haggerty early in the year, and Vero beat Episcopal. But interestingly enough, early in the year in the head-to-head, Haggerty did knock off Vero 7-6. So the game's at Vero. It's going to be a very close game. I did predict that I thought Haggerty could upset them on VSN. So let's make sure people know I'm not trying to sort of hedge at this point. It's going to be a beautiful game in all likelihood. And we'll see if that prediction holds up. Region 3 in 2A, Steinbrenner at 20-1 versus Newsom at 15-4. Steinbrenner is number 3 at 7.29 strength of schedule. Newsom is number 9 with 7.04 strength of schedule. They played twice this year, back in mid-February. Steinbrenner the 10-8 win, and on March 5th, Steinbrenner the 6-5 win. So we already have 2 indications that it's going to be a very close game. Steinbrenner 15 goals a game versus Newsom 16. Draw control, they're very similar, both in the 60s. Goals against average, Steinbrenner 3.8, Newsom 5.1. One thing that's kind of glaring, the save percentage, Steinbrenner 0.553, Newsom 0.441. They both played Plant, Steinbrenner 16-3, and Newsom with 2 wins, including 14-4. Against Lake Highlands, Steinbrenner actually knocked them off 9-8, whereas Newsom lost 14-7. They both played Vero. They both lost close games. Everything is indicating a close game in this one. We have Steinbrenner with the home field advantage. I'll go with Steinbrenner to edge them out, but boy, it wouldn't surprise me if Newsom, we've already had a couple of instances where 2 very close wins were turned around in the third game. So just go out and enjoy that one. And now in 2A, number 4, St. Thomas at 13-3 will be hosting Boca Raton at 19-2. We've got St. Thomas is ranked number 4 with 11.28 strength of schedule. Boca Raton is number 10 with 11.985 strength of schedule. So both teams obviously played tough games. But there was a bit of a difference in who they played in order to get those games. St. Thomas, 14 goals a game. Boca Raton, 16. Draw controls, goals against, and save I don't have for St. Thomas. Boca's coming at a 0.607 save, 0.621 draw control, and 5.6 goals a game. They did not play this season. St. Thomas handled Stoneman easily. Boca had 2 wins, but relatively close over Stoneman. Boca lost to Heritage Del Rey. St. Thomas has they lost to Pinecrest. They beat Naples. They beat Bartram Trail. They lost to Lake Highland, and they beat Benjamin. I believe I've got that right. Either way, I expect St. Thomas to win the game and move on to the final four. Okay, boys 1A, regional finals. Bowls and Oak Hall, 19-2 Bowls, Oak Hall 14-5. Bowls 13 goals a game, Oak Hall 14. I don't have face-off percentages for either. Both of them have solid goals against averages. Bowls save percentage 63.6. Oak Hall, I've got it as 46.9. They played on April 8th. Bowls coming with a 10-7 win at Oak Hall. This game obviously is at home. In the power rankings, Bowls comes in at number 4 in 2A with a 6.27 strength of schedule. Oak Hall number 11 with a 6.45 strength of schedule. They both played Nice. Bowls with a 12-8 win. Oak Hall the 11-10 loss. Bowls with 3 wins over Episcopal. Oak Hall the 14-9 win. And some of the other key games, Bowls with a big 9-8 win over Winter Park, but lost 4-3 to Montverde. Oak Hall lost 14-8 Creekside, 12-6 to Jesuit, and 17-10 to Ponte Vedra. So I expect Bowls to win this game, probably in a similar spread. In 1A Region 2, Benjamin hosting Montverde. Benjamin at 16-3, Montverde at 13-6. Benjamin ranked number 2 in the state with an 11.67 strength of schedule. Montverde number 9 with a 9.48 strength of schedule. They did not play. Similar goals a game, 13 versus 12. Montverde with a 58.6 face-off percent. I don't have the Benjamin number, but I'm pretty confident it's higher than that. Goals against, Benjamin's given at 9.3 to Montverde's 6.8. Similar save percentages in the low 50% range. They had, looks like they really only had one in common. Lake Island Prep, Benjamin with an 11-6 win. Montverde went 2-1 in 3 games against Lake Island. Montverde has a win over Windermere. Ponte Vedra loss. They played Gilman and McDonough, losing to both. Lost to Winter Park and beat Bowls. Benjamin lost to St. Andrews, swept Jupiter in 2 games, went 2-1 against St. Edwards, wins over St. John Paul, Pinecrest, and Oxbridge. I do expect Benjamin, who's really on a roll, to win this one and go on. 1A Region 3, we have Jesuit at 15-2, hosting Community School at 16-4. Jesuit is ranked number 7 with a 5.27 strength of schedule in 1A. Community School is ranked 8 with a 6.50 strength of schedule. Not much to choose from in those numbers. I have Jesuit listed with like an 81% face-off percentage, 4 goals against, 14 goals for, and a 615 save percentage. The only number I have for Community School is 13 goals a game. I don't have anything posted in there. Okay, they did not play. Against Canterbury, Jesuit went 2-0, and Community School split 1-goal games. Against Cardinal Mooney, they split 1-goal games, and Jesuit won 10-6. Canterbury was on both, and Jesuit swept Canterbury, whereas Community School split. Jesuit has a win over Oak Hall, a loss to Plant, and a loss to Lake Mary. Cardinal Mooney has a St. Thomas Aquinas loss. Not Cardinal, Community School. St. Thomas Aquinas loss, a Western win, a Gulf Coast win, an American Heritage Plantation win. Riverview, both of them played Riverview. Community School actually had the easier win. On paper, the way you would think Jesuit should win this game, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit closer than maybe people think. Community School does have some impressive games. Tells me that's maybe a little bit of a hotter and cold type of team. I think Jesuit will kind of pull it out, and I think that will be their first Final Four if they do so. And now in Region 4, St. Andrews and Oxbridge, 17-3 St. Andrews, 18-4 Oxbridge. St. Andrews and Oxbridge are pretty much the same goals a game. St. Andrews at about a 65% clip on the faceoffs. Oxbridge is probably a little bit higher than that. They don't have the number down, but their faceoff kid is also very highly regarded. They give up a similar amount of goals per game. Save percentages, St. Andrews is a little bit higher. When you look at this, St. Andrews ranked number 1 in 1A, 14.33 strength of schedule, very high. And Oxbridge number 5, 8.48 strength of schedule. And the common games: Benjamin, St. Andrews of an early win, and Oxbridge lost 13-9. 3 wins for St. Andrews over Pinecrest. Oxbridge lost 9-8. 15-4 win for over Western for St. Andrews versus a 17-11 win, and both beat Jupiter, relatively close games. Then you look outside the other games, and that's where St. Andrews' strength of schedule really is better. Boys Latin loss, St. Thomas 1-goal loss, Plant win, Ponte Vedra win, St. Ed's win. Both of them, by the way, played St. John Paul and won. And Berlin and Canterbury were wins for Oxford. So there's a big difference in the big games that St. Andrews played. And it'll be a close game, I suspect. Oxbridge has had a tendency to play them tough over the years, but I still expect St. Andrews to take the game and move on. Finally, in the 2A on the boys' side, Ponte Vedra at 17-3, hosting Lake Mary at 19-2. This is one I definitely want to keep an eye on. Both teams averaging about 14 goals a game. Ponte Vedra's face-off percentage 79%, Lake Mary about 60. Neither of them are giving up a lot of goals. Ponte Vedra's save percentage is higher at 61% versus 49. Ponte Vedra number 2, excuse me, in the state, 9.91 strength of schedule. Lake Mary number 3, 7.25. They did not play during the year. Creekside, Ponte Vedra with the 16-6 win. Lake Mary with 2 close wins over them. They both played Lake Highlands. Lake Mary 12-3 versus Ponte Vedra's 11-8. Ponte Vedra is a win over Montverde, 1-goal loss to Plant, win over Oak Hall, and the 1-goal loss to St. Andrews. Lake Mary has an overtime win over Winter Park, 2-goal win at Jesuit, 7-4 loss at Jupiter, and a St. Ed's win. On paper, this looks like a fantastic matchup. And as you know, as mentioned before, over the years, when they've met in a regional final or a regional in general, Ponte Vedra's had trouble with Lake Mary in the past, and we'll just see how it plays out. It should just be a fantastic game, and you can actually. That's one of the few places where the NFHS camera gets much of the action. Doesn't quite get to the goal that's on the left of the screen, but you can get a pretty decent amount of game in on that one. And I'll certainly be checking in on that one on Saturday. In Region 2, excuse me, 18-2 Winter Park, hosting 18-2 Windermere. To be honest, I don't really see much in this one. They played earlier in the year as a 14-0 shutout for Winter Park. And that's really more important than any of the statistics. Winter Park is number 4 in 2A, 6.34 strength of schedule. Windermere at number 11 with a 1.69 strength of schedule. The only real important common opponent, Winter Park knocking off Montverde 10-7. Windermere losing to them 18-8. I expect Winter Park to win this game easily. 2 more to go. Number 17, Plant at 17-2, hosting Newsom at 19-2. The Plant stats kind of got messed up, and we don't have them right now. Newsom, high-scoring team, 19 goals a game, 71% of the faceoffs. Problem with this one is that basically they lost to Plant 17-5 in the regular season. We have Plant number 5, 6.41 strength of schedule. Newsom number 10, 1.83 strength of schedule. Plant with a Ponte Vedra win, a St. Andrews loss, a 2 overtime loss at Jupiter, and a Jesuit win, and that's just much better resume. I expect Plant to, it'll be a closer game, but I expect Plant to win this one and move on. Finally, 14-3 St. Thomas hosting 13-8 Jupiter. They also played earlier in the year. St. Thomas with the 13-8 win at home. St. Thomas, number 1 in the state, 12.17 strength of schedule. Jupiter, number 7, 12.38 strength of schedule. Obviously, very big wins. The only difference is that Jupiter's non-common opponents were stronger than St. Thomas's were. And, basically, they both played St. Andrews. St. Thomas came away with the 8-7 win. Jupiter lost 7-5. Both of them lost to Benjamin, Jupiter twice. The St. Thomas loss was in overtime at home. And Jupiter lost, I think, by 5 or so, both times to Benjamin. St. Thomas has wins over Community School, Episcopal School, and Lake Highland. Jupiter's got a win over Plant, a St. Andrew's loss, a Lake Mary win, Creekside loss, St. Ed's loss, and an East win. I guess it's going to be this was a tie game at halftime, the first game around. Can Jupiter find a way to score enough goals? I think that's the key. Can Jupiter score enough goals to win this game? That's been kind of a little bit of an issue at times for them during the year against the top teams, and this is going to be the test against St. Thomas. I do think St. Thomas should edge out the win and move on to the Final Four. Okay, you've got plenty to go out and watch this weekend. If you do get out, please take a friend to a game. Lay off the refs. Enjoy yourself. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Enjoy the game, honor the game, respect the game. This is Lee Roggenberg, Florida Lacrosse News, saying so long from the Sunshine State.